Welcome to Tantrum House on location. Today we're at our friendly local board game store, Boardwalk, purveyor of fine games, and we're ready to put together our top 10 games of the year. Each year, the girls and the guys put together their favorite games of the year. This year is no exception. We have also a giveaway for one of these games, so stick around till the end so you can learn how to win one of them. Now, each year when we put this list together, and by we, I mean I, have a tendency to include games on the list that aren't actually available to you at home. And so this year, to limit myself, to exercise a little self-control, to put some boundaries on, we've actually come to our friendly local game store where we're going to be pulling the games off of the shelf to show them to you and share with you our top 10 games. So Melissa approved. First time ever. You guys ready to do this? Let's do it. Let's go.
Number 10. My number 10 is World Order from Hegemonic Games. It is basically a sequel to their game Hegemony, if you didn't guess that already. And it's like Hegemony, a very simulationist game, but unlike Hegemony, I feel like it's a lot easier to step into. So check it out, World Order.
My number 10 is Sandbag from Bezier Games. I love trick-taking games, and this one is a unique take on it. You don't want to win tricks, and it's just kind of fun like that, and it plays up to 6 players, so even more fun. Sandbag from Bezier.
The number 10 game on my list is Adventure Party from Smirk and Dagger. This is a lightweight role-play game, but it's more of a party game. In the game, you are rolling dice, and as you tell the story, everyone else is going to try to guess how successful or how much of a failure you were based on your story. They're going to guess your die roll. And the great thing about the game is that regardless of how well you do on the actual adventure, it's a good time of telling stories, having fun with the family and friends, and it's just a really easy way to jump into RPGs without a lot of heavy lifting and preparation, and is an equally good time. I've really enjoyed this one. Number 10, Adventure Party.
My number 10, oh, here it is. My number 10 is The Gang. This is from Cosmos Games, and it's a poker, cooperative, meet with the other player. It's really fun. If you haven't played it, you should totally check it out. It's my number 10 of 2024. Number 9. Okay, so my number 9 is, oh, here it is. It's Sears Catalog from Bezier Games. So this is a play on the Sears catalog, but also a play on the Seer from the Werewolf games from Bezier. I know Kevin talked about Sandbag, another card game from Bezier, his number 10, but this is my number 9. Plays 2 to 5 players, it plays really quickly, 10 to 15 minutes. I really enjoyed it this year. Sears Catalog.
My number 9 is Astronauts Eternity from Indie Boards and Cards. I really like that it's cooperative, and the deck building also very much appeals to me. If you haven't checked it out, Astronauts Eternity.
Mine is Let's Go to Japan. This is from AEG. This is a tableau building game. You're putting cards in front of your tableau, but it's also about, having a good vacation, and you need to plan a vacation well. So you're traveling between 2 cities in Japan, making sure you're going to the right sites, having fun. Let's Go to Japan from AEG.
Next one on my list is Maple Valley from Kids Table Board Gaming. This is a worker placement style big map game where you're going to be moving around and picking up all kinds of cool little tidbits. You've got kind of 2 different tracks of resources that you're trying to gain. You're trying to add friends to your party, and you're trying to do some set collection to be able to retrieve cards. There's actually kind of a lot going on in it. It's not a little kid game at all, but it is a great family game. So check out Maple Valley from Kids Table Board Gaming. Number 8. My number 8 game is from Stonemaier Games. It is the new Stamp Swap game where you are acting as stamp collectors trying to fill up your book full of unique stamps that are all worth different amount of points. You also have a bunch of unique goals that change from game to game, and it plays from 1 to 5 players. It's got a lot of really fun and beautiful components, and it's an easy to learn game that actually has a ton of replayability just because of the way those goals change each time.
So my number 8 game is Middle Ages. This is from Studio H. Now, I know the box cover might make you think that this game doesn't have it all, but in my opinion, it's got it all. I think it plays best at a fuller player count. It's got all sorts of take that, which I really appreciate, but it's take that off of card selection, so you don't have to feel so bad about it. Anyway, that's my number 8.
My number 8 is River of Gold from Office Dog. I got to play a demo of this. Otherwise, it'd probably be higher on my list because I haven't played the whole game, but I hunger for more. I really like that you're rolling dice and then picking which action you're taking. It's just a beautiful game, and I think you should check it out. River of Gold.
Fromage. This is designed by Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley, coming to you from Road to Infamy. This is a yummy game about cheese making, and is also a game that's really intriguing with the gameplay where you're placing workers out on the board, but then the board's rotating, so there's this timing aspect. It's got this sort of Zulkin feel to it. Highly recommend Fromage.
Number 7. My number 7 game is Slay the Spire. So if you haven't played Slay the Spire, it's a dungeon crawler deck builder. Deck builders are one of my favorite styles of game. This game is really, it's everything we wanted it to be. It took a long time for this to fund on those crowdfunding platforms, but now that it's out, it is definitely making my list.
Now, I'm a big fan of logic deduction games, and Chronologic has it. Now, there's actually 3 different versions. We have Paris 1920. This is from Super Meeple. It's got this like Clue-like feel to it. You are trying to figure out the different mysteries. There's actually 3 different mysteries in the box, and each mystery has multiple scenarios in it, so it's really got a lot packed into the small logic deduction box, Chronologic.
Mine is Stone Spine Architects from Thunderworks Games. I like the different focuses that you can do to try to get points, and also just this world that Thunderworks has had. I enjoy revisiting it yet again. So check out Stone Spine Architects.
The next one on my list is Courtesans from Panasaurus Games. This is a game where you are influencing whether or not cards are going to score at the end of the game. It's got some really neat stuff going on where you've got some goals that change each round. It's got a nice little fabric mat, which I appreciate, and it's just a genuinely good time. You have the opportunity to hide some of your influences and things, and it's quick enough that you can play it multiple times, which I do every time I play it, and it just has a really good feel to it. I really have enjoyed playing Courtesans.
Number 6.
The number 6 game on my list is from Cardboard Alchemy. It's called Critter Kitchen. This game has all kinds of stuff going on. You're doing a lot of order fulfillment. You've got some secret ingredients that you're working with. You're trying to make sure that the ingredients that you have are worth more than the ingredients that everybody else has. It's all wrapped in this fantastic illustration style, and it's a pretty meaty game. This is a thinker. It'll burn your brain as you try to get through all the levels, try to please all the chefs, try to do all the things in a really, really attractive package. So check out Critter Kitchen.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so my number 6 game is Rock Hard 1977. So, first off, the player boards in this game are amazing. The aesthetic is really cool. There's like fake money in it that looks a lot like real money, and I really appreciated the gameplay of this game. It's simple, it's streamlined, it'll take you about 45 minutes to an hour. It plays at a good high player count, and I really appreciated that.
Oh, you've probably heard of Wingspan from Stonemaier Games. But have you heard about Wormspan? It's got dragons in it. Okay, I really like this game. It's got planning, it's got cards, and did I tell you? It's got dragons.
My number 6 is also Critter Kitchen. I really like the small, medium, large, fast, medium, slow aspect of shopping, and even when I lose, which is all the time, I always feel like I had this great strategy and it made me feel smart, and that really appeals to me. So you should check out Critter Kitchen.
Number 5.
All right, so we're already halfway through our list. I think we've only had 1 repeat so far. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Is that right?
It's happening again, though.
Is it? Is it about to come up? All right. We've got our number 5 games on the list. Jonah, why don't you just start us off? Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so my number 5 is Alhambra, the Red Palace. This is a standalone game, so you're probably familiar with Alhambra. If I'm not mistaken, it won one of the big awards way back when, right? But this is a standalone game. It's similar to the older one, but there's a couple of really unique changes in this one. If you haven't played this game from Queen Games, you should totally check it out. It's my number 5
I like
this year.
the changing market in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
My number 5 is Blueprints of Mad King Ludwig. It is a lot like Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which is why we end up playing it a lot. Castles is Katie's favorite game.
Yeah, I'm guessing this will be on all the ladies' lists.
Probably.
What appeals to me more about this one is I don't have to set up the market, which I'm terrible at, because I'm terrible at bidding games and knowing what people want. So this fills a particular niche in my life, check out Blueprints of Mad King Ludwig.
Every year, there's a game that comes out, and you're like, why didn't that game come out sooner? Or why didn't I think of that game sooner? And I think that's what the gang is. It's poker, but it's cooperative poker, and Jonah's already talked about it.
Yep.
And it's a great game. It plays up to 6 players, and it's got this like hand ranking that you're trying to like figure out with the other players. And you can even play some variants if you know other forms of poker like Omaha or Banana Split. You can play those forms of poker with this game. I mean, the gang. You gotta play it.
I probably would have put it on my list, but I knew that it would show up in other places. It is a lot of fun, and so I reserved spaces for other games like Explorers of Navaria. This game is a bag. It's not bag building. Your bag is already built, but you're pulling tokens out of a bag to determine what actions you're going to take in the game. And the game has like 4 or 5 different mechanics going on because it's also some worker placement. It's also some track growth. It's also some ladder stuff. It's also some engine building.
There's a lot going on.
It's got in-game scoring. Lots and lots of little things in this fun little world that the designer and the artist are the same person, and so it all feels really cohesive, and I've really had a good time playing this one as well. Number 4.
Our number 4 is River Valley Glassworks from All Play. There's so much I like about this game. One thing that really stands out to me is the tactile nature of all these little glass pieces. I really like that.
And I will vouch for the fact that not only do the 4 of us enjoy it, but my family enjoys it, my kids like it, everybody I've played with at game night. It has like a very mass appeal feel to it, but a really elegant one as well.
I think it could win like one of those
Spiels?
big awards. Yeah. So Melissa and I actually played a prototype version of this game probably in 2017, so probably like 7 years ago, and I'm so happy to finally see a finished, published version of this game.
Yeah, it's even got some mini expansions, which actually add a lot of fun to the game as well. I've played maybe 2 or 3 of them. I think there's even more.
Yeah.
There's a lot to discover in this game.
Number 3. My number 3 is Tower Up from Monolith. I like the strategic nature of this game. It is deceptively simple in that you're just placing a tower and then filling in the adjacent spaces, also with towers. But you end up in these really strategic tactic situations where you're like, oh, should I put a tower here? Or should I go for bonus points there? That really appeals to me because it's easy to get into, but then difficult to play.
Jonah and I synced up for our number 3, Windmill Valley.
Yeah, this game is from Board and Dice, and Board and Dice has come out with some really good ones over the last few years. This is no exception. One of my favorite parts is the player wheels.
Oh, the action wheel, yeah.
Yeah, the action
man.
wheel is really cool, right? Of course, the gameplay is awesome as well, but that's one of my favorite parts. It's got to be on the list because of that.
I agree totally with Jonah there. And I think the gameplay plus the theme, the Netherlands theme where you're doing tulips and you got the windmills and all that just works really well with the gameplay. So Windmill Valley from Board and Dice, number 3.
My number 3 is Harmonies from Littlewood. This game is nice. It's got a little bit of that Cascadia feel where you're playing a tile, a card, and then you're also playing a wooden tile on top of it, and then you've got goals that you're trying to achieve. This one is a little more streamlined, a little easier to jump into, I think, and it just features some really beautiful artwork, some really fun, chonky pieces that you are putting out onto the board, and it has a really satisfying feel as you complete puzzle after puzzle after puzzle during the game, and then hopefully scoring the most points at the end. Lots and lots of fun inside of Harmonies.
Number 2.
We've already talked about Blueprints of Mad King Ludwig from Bezier Games. This is in the genre of roll and write games. You're flipping cards, sketching on these really cool vellum sheets. Blueprints of Mad King Ludwig.
My number 2 is Rebirth from Mighty Boards. I like that it is a very simple game with the tile laying, but also a lot of strategy. I was introduced to this at Essen, immediately fell in love.
My number 2 game is Heat Heavy Rain. Now, I know it's an expansion, but this is really, really fun. And Heat's creeping up my list as one of the best games, maybe of all time for me. This adds water, and if you've played Heat, you know that water is just going to make things so much more crazy. So, Heat Heavy Rain.
All right, I told you last year that Unconscious Mind, which I only played as a prototype, was going to be on my list this year, and it absolutely is. This game has held up over the year. I've played a bunch of additional games. I've played this game numerous times. They've also got a new expansion and a bunch of other additional pieces for it that I didn't get to play last year, and it held up. It's all the way up in my number 2 slot. 100% enjoy the game Unconscious Mind.
Number 1.
All right, so we're down to our final top 10 games of the year. I'm pretty excited actually to talk about these, partially because I always get to this point in the year and I've not even played the games that you guys have on your number one list, and then I have to go back and immediately play it, which is a great time. So we'll see if that happens again. Before we go into the list though, I think we should, A, talk about how they can win a prize, and 2, let's start by saying thank you to Boardwalk for letting us host our video here. We kept them up late working back there, so thank you guys so much. If you're in the Greenville area, definitely check out Boardwalk. It's a fantastic game store. You will love it, I promise. Tell us how to win a game.
All right, so first we have to get 1,500 likes on this video. What do you want to say, like in 2 weeks?
Sure.
Okay, within 2 weeks now. Last year, I think, got 1.8, so this is doable. All right, so first of all, we have to hit 1,500 likes. Then we're going to choose one of the people who comment on the video at that time once we hit 1,500, and we will, what are we giving away?
Well, I think since we all agreed that Valley Glassworks was our number 4 game, we're going to give that to you so that you and your family can enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, man, there we go. Love it.
Also, be sure to check out the ladies' video. They've got a top 10 that'll be coming out right after this one, so check back to the channel so that you can find their video, because I'm sure we're going to be giving away a prize on that as well. Jonah, what's your number 1 game for the year?
My number 1 game is on the table. It is Arcs, and it's long. I'll tell you that up front. But here's why I love it. The action selection or figure out player order, what you can do, is based on a trick-taking element. But the game's not trick-taking. It's space exploration and conquer and capture people and go to war. But you've got to win the trick in order to... It's really cool. And I think that that's really unique. And the first time I played it, even the second time I played it, I was stuck after the game just thinking, the way that you start these turns is so unique. This is crazy. Like, I wasn't even sure like about the rest of the game. I was just like, the trick-taking part is
so good.
Wild. Yeah. And so that's why it's number 1.
I've heard great things. I'm ready to try that one.
So you may have guessed from last year's video, my number 1 this year remains the same. It is Lore from Campfire Games. I just love so much about this game. I like that it lets you tell a story without being overt about the story. Like, it's in your mind. The story building element is... it appeals to me immensely. And then I like the increasing your stats and gaining items from the market in order to be able to defeat monsters. And I think it's also fairly easy to just jump into if you haven't played before. They just came out with a 2nd edition, and I'm looking forward to getting that off of their Kickstarter. I think if you haven't played Lore, you should check it out.
Okay, I will.
All right, mine is from Roxley Games. It's Skyrise. I love games that are simple to teach, simple to set up, simple to play, but strategic in depth. And that's what I think Skyrise has. It's also beautiful. There's a retail version, which is good, but I mean, the deluxe version is phenomenal. These little towers that you're putting out, it's got this like area control going on in the game. Just the mechanics, the gameplay, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and people just really pick up and play. It's amazing.
Did you have an honorable mention?
I do have an honorable mention.
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay. My honorable mention is honorable because technically it hasn't come out yet.
I like that game.
But this is the Lord of the Rings trick-taking game, Fellowship of the Ring. It's a really long title. This is a cooperative quest through Middle-earth. And the reason why it's honorable mention, like I just said, it's not out yet, but I've already played it 24 times in 2024. So it deserves a spot here as honorable mention. And it probably won't get played too much in 2025, and it's going to be released in retail like January, so just probably a few weeks away. Some people have already got a copy at like some of the conventions, and it's already out there. So honorable mention, fun trick-taking game, cooperative. If you like The Crew, check out this one.
All right, so I had just a couple barely honorable mentions. They're all here in this stack. Okay. One of them was Sweet Mess, which I mentioned last year, but it technically wasn't out, and it is out this year, and it is great. Fractured Sky is gorgeous. I haven't played it enough times to like fall in love with it the way that I think I could or should, but I wanted to mention it. And then Lightspeed Arena has been a blast. Super fun. I don't know if it's available in America. I don't know if it's available. I think it was only Kickstarter.
Okay, we have a promo for that, don't we?
We do.
And we have a promo for Blueprints. There's a couple games on our list that have promos. TantrumHouse.com. I think they'll be available if you want to check out some new promos.
My actual number 1 for the year is Ezra Nehemiah from Garp Hill Games. This is a like all the other games that are in this genre, it's like lots of different mechanics going on with lots of familiar icons from a lot of their other games. And in this one, you are rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, and you are going up lots of different tracks. You're gaining points for rebuilding stuff. You can go up the temple track. There's a lot of different things going on in the game. It's all very smooth, very polished. I've played this a bunch of times. It is a longer game as well. Lots of strategy, lots of different ways to win the game. Not a point salad, but just lots of different ways to be able to try to get to that goal at the top. And I've had a blast playing it. I've played it a bunch of times this year, and it's my number one.
I think we have one more thing to talk about before we say goodbye.
What is that?
TantrumCon. TantrumCon.com. So this is going to be probably one of the best conventions in 2025.
There we go.
I sure hope so.
I
You can
believe
learn
so.
you can learn everything about the event at TantrumCon.com. Tickets are available now. The event happens January 23rd through the 26th.
Join us.
We would love to see you there. We'll be playing a lot of these games, maybe even teaching some of these games. And we're definitely going to be flipping some tables and having all kinds of fun. So you should absolutely join us. Hopefully we'll see you there. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all those things.
Bye.
Designed by Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley. Oh, O'Malley. Sorry.
Say all those hard words. You said so many hard words.
Things to focus on. And what are you doing?
You're too far away.
What over here?
Yeah, it's better.
Oh, okay.
My number 9 is woo! Let's go to Japan. Sorry, I am not even prepared. I didn't even have the mic.
From All Play.
And then Ryan.
But Ryan's supposed to tell.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, good job.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
We think you all should play River Valley Glassworks.
I was not part of it. That was not a boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
It's okay.
I
We'll put
paused
that,
so it could be
that could
in,
be outtakes.